Hello and welcome to Device Advice. I'm Emmet Ryan. So HTC had their huge launch at Mobile World Congress there back in March. The new HTC One M9, the successor to the HTC One M8. Now those of you who know me from my columns know that I've been a huge fan of the M8. I think it's probably, for its generation, the best phone at the premium end of Android. The M9 therefore has a lot to live up to. And so in order to compare them, we got both of them here. So the reason we have both phones here is because they've moved the buttons around. So here's the M8 and here's the M9. And you'll see here the M9 actually has 3 buttons just below the card slot, whereas the M8 only has the one. And also the M8 has this button at the top you can't see because that's how thin it is and how dark it is really. Whereas there's no buttons here on the M9 on the top, and there's a reason for that. So the M9 essentially, it's your classic HTC thing where they make a change that's a bit radical for the user, has to get used to, but they figure the user will get used to it, they trust them. So what they've done is they've put the power button around the side here, that's a power standby button, and the volume buttons have been split. Now, what's the difference this makes? Well, fundamentally, it's about when you're using your phone in your pocket. You're reaching in, and you feel the 3 buttons along the side here, and because they assume you're going to get used to your phone pretty fast, you'll know where each button is, and it's about going up and down. One classic thing I always noticed with the M8 was I wasn't entirely sure if I'd gotten to the top or bottom of the volume button. Now, this is a thing, to be honest, I never thought about, and I suppose that's the fundamental part of it. It wasn't something I considered to be a problem, but from just about a week's use here of this M9, it's immediately noticeable to me. Like, I know where there's volume, there's down, there's up, bang, 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 happy days. So it's a little surprising that it's a change I didn't expect that has actually made a difference for me in how I use this phone. Now, overall processing speed, the M8 was very good at that perspective, definitely, no question, and the M9 keeps that going. And I suppose that's actually the one criticism really with the M9. Well, not criticism, but criticism in terms of upgrade, in that the M8 didn't have the processing problems a lot of phones of the same generation had. So at the M9, you're not really getting that much of a jump, at least not noticeable, even to a heavy user. The other aspects as well, I suppose, the camera, video-wise, the M8 is and was the best in the business for its generation. The M9 pretty much does that again. The big difference is stills are a lot better. M8 users will know that stills were a bit of a problem getting that actual crisp shot. You're almost better off, as in fact I'm doing with this video, taking a still from the video itself, which is never going to be the same quality. We all know this. So strangely enough, it works a little bit better doing stills than the M8. That's the one noticeable upgrade. Aside from that, not a huge lot to talk about in all honesty, because it's basically a longer lasting, faster version of the M8, which was a really, really good phone. So if you've got an M8, no need to upgrade. I'd wait for the M10, see what they do there. But if you're any other phone of that generation or an earlier generation, and you're looking for premium end, definitely worth getting. It once again is the strongest phone in the market. We're going to talk about probably the number 2 phone in our next video, but no, this phone here, yeah, no, HTC One M9, once again HTC, top of the Android market at the top end. And I suppose the big difference with the M9 to the M8 on a commercial level is the M8 was more an announcement that HTC were ready to fight Samsung at that level. They brought out a phone that could be the best in the market, and it was the best in the market, but it wasn't going to win that war. This is a phone which HTC says, we're still in this fight, and we're going to win this fight. And this could easily sell more units than the S6 or the S6 Edge, or combined even. And we're going to talk about that S6 Edge in our next video. But for now, this has been Device Advice. I've been Emmet Ryan. Please leave comments below, subscribe wherever that button is, and let me know what you guys want to see on Device Advice.